All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Academy. And we are going to get ready to get started tonight's Shopify session. So before we get into it, I did email everybody that is signed up for the Shopify class to do a special one-on-one session so we can review your store, your configuration, work through any outstanding issues. It is a 1 hour session, so hopefully we'll be able to knock out what we need to knock out in 1 hour. I do also want to encourage you, if you have any questions or issues prior to that, that you come to any of the open Q&A sessions. I'll do my best to make sure I'm on the open Q&As. One is next Tuesday at 9:30, and then next Saturday at 2:30. And then the following one will be on the following Tuesday at 9:30. And after that will be the one-on-one sessions. So we want to make sure that you've taken your store as far as you can take it on your own, that it's up and running, that we have, all the configuration done, that you've imported some products, and that you've begun the process of all the things that we're going to be covering. We're doing a review today. So, again, we want you to go ahead and get all of that going. So sign up as soon as possible. I'll get a notification that you signed up. It'll go on my calendar, and then I'll be able to, go through your store review. But please take your store as far as you can take it prior to the meeting. So then that way it's a focused session on what's remaining or outstanding. So I hope that that is helpful. So let's go ahead and get started. So since it is a review, hold on for just 1 second. Okay, I apologize for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a review of the sessions 1 through 4 of what we've already covered. And then we're going to cover just a couple of additional things that may help you with your store, which is going to be the integrations. So let me go ahead and share. Hopefully this is going to work okay. I will warn you that earlier training, for some reason, I got disconnected. So I don't know what's happening. So I hope that this will go through just fine. So I am going to be talking fast. I apologize for that. So in session 1, what we covered, we went through expectations for the workshop and also talked through mindset. I encouraged you heavily to create a schedule. And then we talked about some things about Shopify. In session 2, we talked about some keyword research, working on your themes, creating your Shopify account, getting your domain and logo, all that set up. Session 3, we talked about your numbers and how important your numbers are because, there's so many stories out there, people who create Shopify stores and get these sales and then they're not profitable or that they don't get the traffic. So if you do session 1 and 2, or you do the things mentioned in session 1 and 2, hopefully you'll get there. But 3 is important because you need to know what your numbers are to determine if you're profitable. So you can either pull the plug on a product or keep it. And then we talked about some of the apps, and we discussed print on demand. In session 4, we talked about the continuation of setup, a lot of details in Shopify setup. We went through shipping, the pages, preferences. Sorry about that. Payments. And then we also talked about customer discounts. And we also went into marketing, Facebook marketing, Google ads, Bing ads, and email marketing. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I need to cough. Just 1 second. Okay, so I took a drink. Hopefully, we're gonna be okay. Got somebody getting me some cough drops. So, Mama say Nicholas. All right. So today we're talking about some of the integration: Etsy, Pinterest, Walmart, Amazon. We're going to talk a little bit about customer service and returns, and then we're going to talk about your Black Friday checklist. The goal is to get you ready, get you started, getting you in the position to have an amazing Black Friday. Okay. So starting from the beginning, these are things, hopefully you've already gone through it, and I'm going to go pretty fast. So at the beginning, we talked about what are your financial goals. You know, there are a lot of people that have some amazing numbers when it comes to their Shopify stores, and you see them all the time on YouTube. You know, whether or not they're 100% accurate or not, there's no way that I can verify that. But what I can tell you is that there are people who have amazing Shopify stores that do pretty well. And so, is that a possibility for you? The answer is yes. It's just how much time and energy you're going to put into it. So, the biggest thing about Shopify is just getting all the setup and configuration right. And then once you have the setup and the configuration right, then it becomes the whole making sure that you've got your products and all your integrations are working and your marketing. Those are the three components on the back end that are big. And to get to the numbers that are listed, it is going to require your consistency and your focus, your deep research. And so if you haven't already done some of this work, I want to encourage you to try and knock this out this week if you haven't already done it. So one of the things that we start off with is your why. Your why is always important. It doesn't matter what your, you know, what your additional motivations are. You have to have a strong enough why to even push through, because in any business that you start, that you run on your own, you're going to run into issues and obstacles. So we talked about your why. We encouraged you to write it down. Hopefully you're reviewing it every single week. We talked about building a real work schedule. So the real work schedule is going to help you to be consistent in your business activities. And the biggest thing about your real work schedule is we talked about your income producing activities. That is paramount to your success and having an amazing Black Friday. So your biggest income producing activities prior to Black Friday is going to be making sure that you've listed some items, you run some ads, and that you either have an integration already in place for shipping or that you do the shipping yourself. Whatever your strategy is, because we're going to talk about different ways in which you can run your business, what the different business models are. So I'm going to hide some of this. There we go. There we go. So we talked about what is Shopify. We gave some examples of how you can have a Shopify store. There are so many different examples. Then we also talked about the different options that are not Shopify that do some similar things, but not exactly the same, and why we feel like Shopify is better. Here's the deal: the customer support for Shopify is so much better. I've had a Weebly account for a while. I also have a Wix account for our nonprofit, and I'm going to tell you, Shopify beats both of them hands down. It's just the reality. Um, Both of them are intuitive. They're somewhat easy to use, somewhat easy to set up. But again, Shopify just beats them hands down. So what you're going to have to do, again, we talked about why, is that you have to make sure you've done everything that you need to do to get your store set up. We talked about, all of the support, and then we talked about the different business models. So some of the business models includes, wholesale supplying or drop shipping, handmade stuff, ordering from a wholesale supplier, maybe doing a combination of print on demand plus a wholesale or drop shipping. You can have a combo business model, whatever works for you. I do encourage you that you pick a niche and that you settle into that niche. At the beginning, you may not have a niche. Maybe you're running multiple different types of storefronts. So you can, one of the first questions, or second, maybe it was class two, questions was, okay, how many Shopify stores can I have attached to one account? So the reality is it's one Shopify store per email, per account. However, you can set it up to where you have multiple stores attached to one email address. That's one option. And you can also set up multiple pages that do different things. They're like tabs or folders. if you think of it in that concept. So maybe you have one tab for pet supplies, and another one for pet beds, and another one for pet leashes, and another one for pet costumes. But your entire theme is that you're focused on, your store is focused on pet things, and you have different pages for each one of them. And that those are all options when you set up your store. If you do a general store, again, the concept that I just mentioned is more of a general store. It's still focused on pets, it's still focused on dogs, but it's more general. It's not focused on one specific thing. And then if you narrow it down, you niche down and say, okay, I'm going to sell specific types of, dog leashes. And that's what my niche is going to be. I'm going to have dog leashes for big dogs and small dogs and glow in the dark, neon, bright light, whatever it happens to be. You have to figure that out. And hopefully you've already done that research. So again, at the beginning, we encourage you to figure out if you're going to do a niche, you're going to do a general store. We also encourage you to figure out if you're going to do print on demand or if you're going to do a drop shipping model. You can do a mix of both where you have a combination of a print on demand and a drop shipping store together. And it's maybe for a niche or maybe it's general. So you decide what kind of store model you want to go with. And then in addition to that, we talked about doing some keyword research, doing some broad keyword research and niching it down. To find your target niche. This is so important because, again, when you get ready to run these Facebook ads or Google ads or Bing ads or Instagram ads, whatever ads you're going to be running, if you have not identified your target audience, if you have not done that work, or if what you have developed or created is not attractive to your target audience, then your Black Friday is you're probably going to get some traction, but your Black Friday may not be what you would like for it to be. And so my goal is to help you be as successful as possible when it comes to the upcoming Black Friday. So make sure that you've already done this work and that you've kind of figured out your niche and your business model that you're going to be running. Then we talked about where do I get my products. So a couple of different ways you can get them from Alibaba and AliExpress. Inside the Facebook group, I gave everyone a link to the drop shipping. It's like AliExpress's drop shipping dashboard. If you haven't created your account, I encourage you to go do so. So that way, if you decide you're going to use Oberlo, or if you're going to use Dropify or Sprocket, whatever tool you're going to use, you'll be able to integrate that with AliExpress to bring those into your store and auto-populate your store. If you're not going to use those, if you're going to manually add products, that's fine as well. Maybe you've got products that you've already got pictures for, that you've gotten from the manufacturer, the distributor, the supplier, whatever it is, and you've got some descriptions and maybe even a video that shows the product in use. So again, Oberlo and Dropify and Sprocket are all great options. What I will tell you is that with Dropify, you do have an option inside of Dropify to niche down to products that are actually sourced inside the US. So that I do like about Dropify a lot, niching down to those products that are actually sourced in the US, which means the shipping times are much shorter. So again, different ways in which you can do this. Then we talked about print on demand suppliers. We gave you another, sorry, in session 4, I gave you another print on demand list as well. And then wholesale suppliers, giving you some wholesale suppliers in which you can order inventory from that's not AliExpress or Alibaba. And you can take advantage of that. If you've already got an established account, maybe you're selling on Amazon, maybe you're selling on Walmart, maybe you're selling on some other platform. So if you've got wholesale accounts, again, and if your wholesale supplier has a warehouse in the US and they've got some products that match your niche or match your focus, definitely by all means, take advantage of that. All right. Then we talked about some additional things around sourcing. So if you're going externally to source, there's a lot of stores that are going out of business. We had Pier 1 that went out of business. And they had a lot of stuff, like a bunch of stuff. So if you wanted to create a store that was like home crafts or home goods and like list a bunch of the stuff that you got from Pier 1, maybe you bought a couple of pallets, that would have been perfect. Stein Mart is going out of business. There's a bunch of stores that are actually going out of business. And so the thing that I would say is that if you want to go out and you want to acquire that inventory or talk to the store manager or go buy in bulk, pull up with your truck, your white truck or your van, and load up the back of your vehicle, and you're going to in-house fulfill orders for Black Friday, that's absolutely okay. If you don't want to do it yourself, if you want to hire somebody to go and acquire inventory that fits your niche or fits your general store, then and you don't feel comfortable going out, then I just want to encourage you to, use Instacart or TaskRabbit or Shipt or Postmates, and or you can Google sites like TaskRabbit. So if you type in sites like TaskRabbit inside of the Google search window, you'll be able to find them. If you are ordering inventory from a wholesale supplier and maybe you're sending it, and they're not willing to do the drop shipping for you. So maybe you're sending it to a prep center. Again, this is the time to make sure that everything is buttoned up, nailed down, ready to go. So get that inventory checked into that fulfillment center or that prep center. Make sure your wholesale supplier has already shipped it. Follow your shipments. So then that way, as orders come in, they can fulfill the orders for you. If they are not going to fulfill the orders directly, then make sure that your prep center and or your fulfillment center is ready to go. Okay. But if you're going to go outsourcing, we gave you some strategies on how to go outsourcing. And if you are going to go outsourcing, make sure you're keeping track of everything because it's a tax write-off. And if you're needing to raise just a little bit of capital, maybe you don't have enough money to run ads yet, you don't have enough money to do anything, then, don't overlook the opportunity to raise some quick cash, some quick capital by selling things on the Facebook Marketplace, other mobile apps. Those are all opportunities to raise some quick cash so that you can reinvest that money into ad spend and save, get more sales, get more traction to your Shopify store. There's I'm doing some additional research because there was a lot of ads that were being run because of the campaigns. And so there's some theory out there that the ads are going to cost you more right about now. But I think the ad spend is coming back down. So again, if you've done a really good job with your research for your niche and you've done a really good job on your keyword research, you should be okay with whatever you established as your budget when it comes to getting ready to run ads for Black Friday. But we do need to get those ads ready to go. Put this on your calendar, make a note right now. We got to start those ads no later than November the 21st. Seriously, like if we can start them November the 14th, I would encourage you to do so. You got to get the ads going because you have to give Facebook has an algorithm, and I know we're not in marketing right now, but Facebook has an algorithm that it takes them a few days to build the audience. Unless you already have an email list for the audience or you've already done a really good job and you've been marketing to that specific audience, then you need to make sure that you start your ads early enough to get the traction that you want for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Okay, going back to sourcing, I apologize. I hate to subject hop, but I did. Some additional sourcing strategies is, again, if there's a niche, maybe again, you're doing pet stuff. So, frequently go to your PetSmart, your Petco, your Hollywood Feed, go buy all their clearance stuff. If you know of a pet store that's going out of business, a local mom and pop, again, see if you can order their inventory or buy their inventory off of them at discounted rates and do in-house fulfillment so you can fulfill the inventory yourself. If you are going to do in-house fulfillment, go ahead and order your shipping supplies now. That is also on the Black Friday checklist. Order your shipping supplies now if you haven't already done so. Okay, so that was session 1. Let's go ahead and talk about session 2. So session 2, trying to get through this before my computer goes crazy on me. Come on. There you go. All right, so session 2 was all about setting up aspects of your store and getting ready to rock and roll. So I encouraged you in session 2 to make sure, hold on, let me hide this. I gave you some general information first about Shopify, but this is general information. You can come back and watch it and review it. Sorry. It's all about some specifics about your Shopify store, and it may help you as you're continuing to do your setup. So feel free to come back and look at it. The biggest thing that I want you to know is that Shopify offers amazing 24/7 support. So I'm here for you. Shopify is here for you. Let's get these stores ready to go. We want to have an amazing Black Friday. And they also have a great help community. Those are the two things I want you to be mindful of. So we talked about Shopify pricing initially as we're talking about setting up your store. I encourage you to do the basic Shopify at $29. I previously mentioned, again, one Shopify store, you have to pay the $29 per Shopify store. If you decide that you're going to tie multiple Shopify stores to one email account, you just go and create it and you have to pay the $29 per store, or you can do pages and pay the $29 once. So these are all the features for the store for $29. So we encourage you to set that up. So before creating your Shopify store, gave you some additional things to think about. Pay attention to a bunch of stuff that we're going to be talking about, which is, of course, your logo, your colors, your font, your navigation, menu items. All of those things matter. We gave you some examples of different Shopify stores. You can always come back and look at these. I'm not going to go through all of them right now. And I gave you I gave you a link so that you can go do some additional keyword research, which is using keywords everywhere. So important, so important, so important. Okay. So hopefully you did the very first bullet, which was go and find a Shopify store that's your niche or a store in general. Maybe it's not a Shopify store, maybe it's something else. And just make some notes about the design, the layout, how the page flows, try to add something to the cart and the checkout process. Just go through that process so that you would have the opportunity to make some decisions about your own store. So we walked through creating your store. Again, if you're going to tie multiple Shopify accounts to one email account, you're just going to go to shopify.com, start the free trial, put in the same email address, and then go through the process of, an additional store. Okay. So here is all of the walkthrough. I'm going to do this very quickly. This is where you would put the email address that you already have and then your password and what is the new store name if you're going to do a second account. Create your store. And you remember you're going to pay the $29 twice, or you can pay for the higher rate plan. But this is the getting you started. So the $29 should be sufficient. And then setting up your account. So I'm just going to go through this a little quickly. These are all the things. Okay. So once we got to your account set up, then I kind of walk through high level, the different sections, the order section, the product section, where you find your customers. Or if you have a list of customers, maybe you've been selling for a while, you can upload your customers that way. You can market to them. You can use Shopify to market to them. Your sales information. And then we talked about themes. So we talked about free themes, which you have many different free themes that you can attach to your account. And we walk through those. And then we also talked about if I go and click on review all the things, I can see the free and the paid. And so we encourage you to kind of look at that, decide which theme you want. You can either choose the paid or you can do the free. Then after we did that, we talked about where do you put your domain. So I encouraged you to choose a domain that made sense for the niche that you were going to be in, something that's memorable, something that's short, something that's easy to find. Okay. And in the middle of all of this, I also gave you some additional options. It is important that you set up some type of address. You can do like a UPS account where it's a PO box. That's an option. So you can always do that. You can also do, anytime mailbox or virtual post mail. Those are options where mail can go to some virtual mailbox and then they'll scan it in for you. And then, you can come back and review it at your leisure. We talked about email options. You can create a Gmail account. So if you buy a domain, you can do a redirect on that domain to redirect back to your Gmail account so you can communicate back and forth through your Gmail account, or you can log directly into your email account with your domain. I actually do the second one. I do use the Gmail. So I have the front end, they email whatever the name of my store is, .com. And I think I have it set up as info@, and then it forwards to my Gmail. So that's how I set it up. And then for phone, you should have a phone number. We talked about a Google Voice account. If you didn't already do that, I encourage you to set that up. Grasshopper, Freedom Voice, whichever one you want to do. And then creating your domain. You can use GoDaddy domains, you can use Namecheap, or you can use Google domains. Google domains means that you're going to rank faster and be able to find you faster. Namecheap or GoDaddy are always good. I am a fan of Namecheap because I understand several of the DNS things on the back end. It's easier for me. I do have a GoDaddy. I don't have any Google domains, but you can do that. Those are options. As I said before, you want your domain to be short name. You want it to be something catchy, something that, that's memorable, and something that people don't have to like spend all this time trying to remember and, master it. I don't recommend that you started with a number unless it makes sense. And you don't want to make it generic. So make sure that you go and confirm the trademark. And then here's a list of sites that I gave you to kind of do the domain name generator. In addition to that, we talked about logos, that you need to create a logo for your store. The logo is the thing that's going to show up at the top of your store and your Shopify store in the middle. So you need to make sure that you have a logo. You can use different things to create your logo. If you have a Canva account, they have the free version, but in order to get to the branding kit, then you have to sign up for the paid. Canva is inexpensive. You can also use Adobe Spark. You can create a free account for that, and you can create some logos there. It gave you some additional ones for logos. So use any of these to create your logo if you haven't already done so. If you're struggling with that, you could hire somebody on Fiverr to help you create your logo. So do what you need to do to wrap that up so that your logo is ready to go. And then your colors. Again, if you sign up for Canva, you can get a whole branding kit, which is going to include like your color schemes and your font and all of that fun stuff. So do some research on what you feel like you want the color scheme to be of your store. If you did the research at the beginning about your competitors, it's going to help you maybe narrow down some color schemes that you think are going to work. And, just ask someone else that you know for some additional input. I do want you to know that there is like psychology to picking out certain colors. So pick colors that make sense for your store. Okay. If your store is all about the environment or, things that are green friendly, then having a store that has colors that include earth tones and light greens, that makes sense. Having a store that's hot pink and you're all about the earth and the environment may not make sense. It may not. So you want to think about, what are you going after? And then your social media presence, if you haven't already done so, you should snatch up. Once you get your domain, you need to go snatch up all your social media assets associated with that. You can park them for right now and then come back, create some graphics using either your Canva account or whatever tool, or either order some graphics from a company. I have two graphic accounts. We use Graphic Rhythm Designs and Floxy. So maybe if you're struggling still, I may have somebody help you with the graphic. We'll see. But go and create your assets. And that's what I'm going to do. So I can help you create your social media graphics once you give me your logo. And I'll send that order off, and we'll do your Facebook, your Instagram, your Pinterest. We'll get all of your social media assets so that you can get all your banner pages and knock that out. So all you need to do is just email me back at ecomsellersmastery@gmail.com, your logo and your domain, and then I'll send that in your colors. I need your logo, your domain, your colors. Your logo, your domain, your colors. And then we'll place an order for your banner pages for you. There you go. All right. So make sure you go and acquire your assets. There's nothing like buying doggyleashes.com and then somebody else already owns the Facebook page that's doggyleashes.com. Like, you're going to be really mad. You're going to have to call it something else. It'll have to be Doggy Leashes LLC, and it's people aren't looking for the LLC. They're just looking for Dog Alicia. So the other one's always going to come up first. So go do that. Nothing like somebody else snatching up your stuff. Then the next one, homework. Oh, well, we talked about homework. Hopefully, I ran through that really fast. Let's go to the next one. Hopefully, that was helpful to you. Let me see what questions we have before I go to session 3. What is the website Shopify is hosting for you? For me, the website, I'm doing Namecheap. So Namecheap is mine. But I have Namecheap, and like I said, I have a Google account. I have all of those. So, all right, so let's go to session 3. Session 3, let me share my screen. All right, so session 3 was all about the numbers, and it's all about the math. And so important that you make sure that you have a game plan on trying to be profitable, that you know what you need to either make or do in order to get to where you want to be. So, you do your research on how much is the supplier charging me, or the wholesale, whether it's a wholesale supplier or distributor, whether you're buying it, whatever it happens to be, how much are they charging me? Print on demand. What's my full expenses? And then estimated shipping, so that I'm prepared to be able to determine what my price should be when I list it on my Shopify store. So we talked through some different things around your numbers, and then we talked about some sourcing strategies. One thing that you will find when you do research when it comes to Shopify, you're going to find that they don't really want you to think about your stuff from a per item standpoint. I agree, but disagree with that. It depends on what your overall strategy is. So if you can just come to the conclusion that, I'd like to have at least a 30% margin on everything, or 40% margin on everything, some of your things are not going to sell. It's just like, when you're selling on Amazon, or you're selling on Walmart, or whatever platform, like some of your stuff is not going to sell. That's just the reality. So some of your products are not going to sell either. But the great thing about Shopify is, like, when you start running Shopify ads, you can, you want to factor in at least the minimum estimated cost per, ad spend, so you can hike your price up just a little bit, not put it too high to where people are not interested in buying it because the price is too high, but have it just enough to where you always make sure that you have a profit. So look at your products, really do some math, get into the numbers, figure out what your potential profit is going to be for those products. Make sure you're including things like, we already know what the cost of the product is, and then, what you're spending and roughly estimated ad spend, processing fees, and all of that for the different platforms. If you're doing integrations where you're using like ShipStation, or you're using Shipping Easy, or you're using whatever the shipping costs are that are estimated from whoever the supplier is, like, you want to be mindful of those things. So it's not about, oh, okay, I sold 100 items and there was a, $20 profit on each one of them, and so that's my total expense. No, you also probably paid some marketing expenses, and you paid for some ads, and you paid for some processing fees. Maybe you're on emails, and so you have an email account. Like, you have some other things. So I just want you to include all those things in your estimates when you're doing some calculations, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself at the end of this period discovering that you were not profitable at all, or maybe you only made $100 and you sold like $10,000 worth of products, but you only made $100. There's nothing like putting in that kind of work. There's no way that you can make that cost analysis work. That time cost analysis is never going to work. So I want to encourage you to do that. Look at your numbers and be mindful of it. There's different tools that you can use. Your operating expenses. Yeah, things that you can do to reduce your operating expenses. So the biggest thing is really looking at, in your store, looking at, can I buy this item for a lower cost so I can increase my ROI? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Maybe I bundle this item with something else on my store, so I'm selling it as a bundle to raise my margins. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Have you done everything that you can when it comes to your store to make sure that it looks legit. Because what you're going to find, a bunch of people are trying to open up Shopify stores for Black Friday. And so if you haven't done everything that you can to make sure that your store looks legit, then you're probably not going to get the sales that you want. In addition to that, what have you done on the back end to make sure that you have either a follow-up with your customers to deal with abandoned carts? Have you set up some kind of loyalty program where if you come back, I'll give you an additional 10% off? You know, these are the types of things that we want to be mindful of and we want to focus on. Okay. All right, let me minimize this thing here. Okay, so we went back to sourcing, and I talked about AliExpress. That's probably going to be the one that you all are more than likely going to use. But again, I want you to know that there's other options out there. The thing that I'm personally recommending is, I think, Shopify, having shipments, having products that are inside the US. You cannot beat that. You can't. So having products inside the US, you can't beat it. So I would encourage you to look into Shopify. We have an affiliate link for that somewhere. I'll have to find it. And I think I put it inside the group, but it is definitely worth considering. Sorry, something just landed on me and I lost my mind for about 2 seconds. And then I talked about print on demand. I think combining print on demand with physical products is a great strategy because you're serving multiple needs. During the holidays, people like to buy a bunch of print on demand stuff, you know, and it's not just one thing. It's not just t-shirts or it's not just bags. You know, you've got car seat covers, you got phone covers, you got laptop covers, you've got socks, you've got shoes, you've got all kinds of very interesting print on demand things. You've got prints that go on the walls, you got things that cover the door. You know, you have all these kids that are home now. And so making some things that are tailored just to them or doing some print on demand products that are just tailored to them is always awesome. And, you know, there's the one that is an easy one is, you know, some families like to do that matching pajamas photo. Everybody's got the same matching pajamas. So again, that's print on demand. So there's so many different ways in which you can take advantage of print on demand. So don't overlook that opportunity. If you haven't already nailed it down, go do that research tonight so you can nail it down. So AliExpress research, I told you all to go and create your dropshipper account. I also encourage you that you can integrate your Shopify store with a tool that's called eCom Hunt. You can use eCom Hunt to help you get your listings, to monitor the activity, your inventory, all of that. It's a great integration tool. It's a great listing tool. And the AliExpress Dropshipper Center is where you can go through and search for products. Now, the majority of those products you're going to see are coming in from China. So again, that means that you have to pad your shipping times for your products. Make sure that you have a good pad on there. 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. Make sure that you have a good pad on there. I think I got bit. And then there's some other product research tools. So Ali Insider is one, Sell the Trend, Dropship Spy. Again, sorry, that's not free. Dropship Spy is not free. But Ali Extractor and Dropship Spy are paid if you want to do quick research on AliExpress. You can also use eCom Hunt. Sorry, that was what I meant, not eCom Dash. eCom Hunt, which is at the bottom. I have mixing classes. So eCom Hunt is a great one. So you can use that one to do research on AliExpress to find products. I apologize for that. So when you go to find products, some things that you're going to look for when you're looking for products, make sure that you're looking at, some of the data. If I'm looking up pet toys, I'm going to make sure, and I actually pulled this up so you can go back and look at the video. One, that the product is actually available through ePacket. In addition to that, kind of look at how many orders they've got and then go look at that specific seller to see what their rating is. You want sellers that have good ratings and had some good traffic. If they haven't had good traffic and they don't have good ratings, then I'm not going to order from them. If I can find my product with a different supplier that has more ratings and has more history, then I'm going to go after that. So go log into um, Dropshipper, Dropshipper Center in AliExpress. Again, the link to that is actually inside the Facebook group. Create your account. Go start doing some product research. Extremely important. Find some suppliers that fit your niche, that you trust, you feel comfortable with. On print on demand, we've already given you a list. Here's some more that have an integration, a natural integration with Shopify. Again, in your store, you can lay out your store, and we looked at a bunch of store layouts. You're going to have the top part of your store be physical products, the middle part of your store, which is called the collection. So the middle part of your store could be print on demand products, and then the bottom half of your store could be a combination. Maybe it's a bundle that you're making with a combination of print on demand and physical products, or maybe it's something else. So look at print on demand. There's so many different options. If you don't know what you want to do or what's available to you to print on demand, you can go to Printful or Printify.com and go look at their catalog, and you'll see that you can do print on demand. Pillows, like there's just a lot. It's not just one thing for print on demand. But don't overlook the opportunity. I'm sure with the current climate, you could come up with some very amazing print on demand slogans to go on some shirts right now, or hats, or jackets, or things to go on the wall, some memorabilia. The one thing I will tell you about print on demand, do what you can not to get yourself in trouble. Don't do anything that's print on demand that's trademarked. You do not want your account shut down. You do not want to get in trouble with both the print on demand supplier and Shopify. So if it's trademarked, if it's a specific design or pattern, don't sign up. Don't go in and create or develop that design, because it's just going to get you in trouble. You're going to get your account shut down. So do your research. Don't get yourself in trouble. All right. So then the other thing I talked about was Shopify. I mentioned them. Your options are the $47 plan, the $127, and the $197. I actually have the $127 plan. And so again, you can go to bit.ly, esdropify.com. bit.ly/ES-Dropify. And the thing that I like about Dropify, like I said, is that you can find US suppliers. So go take a look at that. It's worth looking into, setting up an account. And plus, they'll do a one-on-one session to help you with your integration of your store with the Dropify account. So not only do you get support from Shopify, but you also get support from Dropify. So you can start your account at the $47 level, get a 14-day free trial, and just go to bit.ly/ES-Dropify. All right, so Oberlo is another one. You can go and create a free Oberlo account. You can use that to integrate your your products that you're going to source from AliExpress and bring them into your Shopify store using Oberlo. It is a great tool, again, connecting it to your store so it's easy to do the imports. Unless you're a person that likes to create listings, and there's nothing wrong with that, you can just do a direct import, okay? And when I'm looking for products, we talked about a bunch of products. When I'm looking for products, I really like to look for products, like I said, that have a good rating. And if you can show the product in use, like there's a video that the manufacturer or distributor has created or developed, that shows it in use, that's great. If you could order it yourself or find it yourself locally in time for Black Friday. Otherwise, if it's not in time, you just do what you got to do. And you can create your own video showing the product in use with your iPhone or with your Samsung phone, whatever it is. But our Oberlo is great for product imports. And then there's all of these other free apps. So you can do custom product pages, which is Zipify. I talked about that before. So maybe your niche is dogs, but you have one page that's in your Shopify store that is all pet leashes, another one that is pet costumes, another page that happens to be pet beds, another page that happens to be pet toys. Like in your whole store theme is still around pets, but you have 4 or 5 different pages. You can have different pages for different things, and people do that as well, and just have one Shopify account. Then some other apps that you want to make sure that you have in your stores to be able to handle multi-currency. You have to decide in this Q4, are you going to be just selling only US, or are you going to expand and sell beyond the US, maybe to Canada, Australia, other English speaking countries? If you are, you need to make sure that you got the app on your store to be able to handle multiple currency. And then one click upsell if you're going to offer something after they purchase the initial thing, where you give them something else that they can consider. Say, if you grab this now, well, if you can grab this now for an additional $5 or $10, and that's what an upsell is. So after they've already purchased whatever it is, they get another offer that pops up on their screen after they've completed the checkout and gotten their invoice, that says, hey, grab this other thing for an additional whatever the price is. All right, and then we also talked about paid apps. I don't know what happened there. Oh, well, that page got blacked out. So during that session, let me go back. I know that we talked about them all. We talked about paid apps, and we also talked about paid apps and upsells. Yeah. So we talk. Oh, optimizing your listings. So optimizing your listings, one of the most important things. Remember, people are going to be buying most of the time from their mobile devices, whether it is an iPad, whether it's a Chromebook, whether they're doing anything from their Kindle, or they're doing it from their phone. A lot of people, over 62% of purchases, it's up beyond that number, but I can't remember what the current number is, but I know it's above 62%. They're buying from a mobile device. So you need to make sure that your listing is optimized from a visual standpoint, that the pictures are full and colorful, and that your product is not in the middle of the image and it's got a whole bunch of white space around it. If I have to do the pinchy fingers to look at something on my phone, I'm not interested. That's just too much work. You need to make sure that as soon as that person goes to your store, they see those products and they click on a product, that it pops off of your phone. Like you can see it, it's big, it's colorful, and it's easy to see all of the different features. Make sure you have multiple pictures of your specific item. Make sure that you name the specific image. Again, people do Google image searches, and a lot of people overlook the opportunity to name their images. Now, if you're doing an import, they're coming in through Oberlo, or they're coming in through whatever, Shopify, whatever tool, coming back and editing your listings, you have the option of doing that, or you can just let it come in the way that it is. But if you're creating them standalone, take advantage of naming your images, please. And then the name of your product, or making sure that the features, make sure you include all of the features when it comes to your product. So important. If you don't include the features, again, somebody may not buy something that they would have otherwise bought from you because you didn't include key information about that particular product, or it may generate questions. There's nothing like opening up a store and then you're trying to figure out, why do I have 50 emails? Well, could you have put the information that people keep asking you over and over again into the description so people won't have to ask you, like, what's the dimensions, what sizes come in, like what shapes, what, different colors, blah, 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 whatever the questions are, what model number, if it's a specific type of product. Make sure you include as much information as possible. Make sure that you're including some keywords in that search so you come up organically. Make sure that you have some amazing pictures. You can name the pictures, that's great. Make sure that you show the product in use. Make sure that you title the image valid. So there is the keywords that pop up that are attached to the image, and then there are the search terms that people are typing in to find the product. So if you're selling a specific product, but people go and look and see what other search terms are people using to find this same exact thing. It's so important to make sure that you've done everything that you can so that you can be found organically. And if you do your work really well, it's also going to make it easier for your ads to be able to pop up in the right places if you've done your research on your audience. So listing optimization is terribly, terribly, terribly important. All right, so now I am going to move on to class 4. Now, if you have questions, please type them in the chat. And okay. So for class 4, I took a deep dive into shipping. There's a lot to shipping. We also talked about your pages, setting up, your policies. You do have to make sure that all of your page setup is done, your contact information. At the beginning in class 1 or class 2, we talked about making sure that you got an address, you got an email address, you got a phone number. So important to look legitimate. If you don't look legitimate, there's a high probability people are not going to check out, meaning they're not going to buy your items. You're like, something's shifty about this page. We talked about making sure that you have all of that done. So do what you need to get all of that set up. So shipping is so important. If you are using an integration tool to do your shipping, some of this you don't have to do. Some of it you will have to do if you're doing in-house shipping yourself, but some of this you will not have to do. So probably close to, I don't know, 65% you won't have to do if you're using a different source to handle your shipping. So you need to go through, once you've gotten your products imported, and you need to test going through your checkout so that you can reconfirm that you got all your shipping ready to go. And again, you need to figure out where you're going to be shipping. Where are you going to be shipping? Are you going to just be selling in the US? Are you going to do other countries? So be mindful of that and what are the shipping options available in those other countries. Once you connect the currency, make sure that you also investigate and do the research on what shipping you have to set up for those other countries as well. So if you're doing this yourself, you've got free shipping. A lot of people take advantage of using free shipping because, again, there's a whole psychological game that's being played when people see free shipping. It's the same thing that happens while people sign up for their Prime accounts. Like, ooh, because I get 2-day free shipping. Okay, alrighty. So just know that it's a psychological game. Amazon has done a great job of making sure that it's very catchy. People remember that. So if you want to play off of what is already common practice in the industry, go ahead and do that. If you want to do exact shipping, or if you want to do flat rate shipping, your call on how you want to set that up. But free shipping is very common. And you can also offer a free shipping option. I'll offer free shipping if for purchases over 35 or for purchases over 50. Maybe you're doing a Black Friday special where you're doing free shipping if you order your item between this date and this date. So think about the promotions that you want to offer as well. And like I said, if you're doing drop shipping, then somebody else is fulfilling the orders for you. So some of this you won't have to set up. We went through all of the configuration for the shipping. Let me hide this, sorry. And we walked through, some information about the carriers. So again, I talked about Canada, I talked about the rest of the world, I talked about the US. Just know what's available based on where you're deciding you're going to allow shipments to go to, who you're going to sell to. And then that there are integrations into your Shopify store for that. We talked about the different rates, talked again about, free shipping calculated local. So if you're going to do some local stuff, again, if you have a brick and mortar and you're going to do local, you have to make sure that your shipping method is set up for local. And what are you going to use for that? So, maybe you're using some other tool. Maybe you're integrating with, a resource that's like with Shipt or TaskRabbit or Instacart or whatever. So shipping labels, again, if you're doing the shipping yourself, this matters. So figuring out your label situation based on the different sizes of the products that you're selling. If you're selling coffee mugs, or if you're selling, I don't know, I'm on my desk, stuffed animals, CBD oil, whatever it happens to be. Like the packaging is going to be a certain size. You have to deal with that, with the labeling and all of that other stuff. Hold on just one second. I got to get this window closed because I have noise in the background. All right. And then your shipping weight for your packages. Again, being mindful of that. Again, this only matters to you if you're doing in-house. If you're not doing in-house, then some of this stuff does not matter. So more stuff about shipping, you can come back and take a look at that. So where you go and set up your shipping when you log into your Shopify store, you're going to go down to settings and you go to shipping and delivery. And that's where you're going to go and do the setup. We talked through a few of these before, and this is in session 4, I believe. So your locations, where you're going to be shipping from, where you're shipping to. So all of this setup, you want to go ahead and make sure that all the configuration is there. If there's any integrations that you need to do, make sure you get that done as well. And then the next thing is we're going to page setup. And your page setup, you've got your footer and your main menu. So in here, this is where you're going to be setting up some things around your, trying to remember all of the pieces. So we've got not the preferences, your policies, your privacy policy, your return policies. You have all of this setup that has to get done. Some of that stuff is going to be available at your footer, where you're going to put your social media tags. That's going to be in the footer. Your icons that we talked about in session 1 or session 2, where we were actually looking at some actual Shopify stores. Your menus that are at the top of your page. So all of the things that you made a note that you liked about somebody else's store, this is where you're doing all of that setup. Then you have some preferences. If you have preferences that you need to set up for your store, this is where you're actually going to put your Facebook pixel, and you're also going to put your Google pixel. If your page, you want people to be able to see like your icon that shows up when they actually go to your site, and you want the icon to be one of those little, I forgot what it's called, but it's a little thing that you see so you know, okay, this is for this specific page. You're going to put this here for social media sharing. You put that icon there. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you populate some information in the metadata or the meta description, because again, your keywords should be populated there. What is this store about? What does this store do? What are you selling? What are the things that people are searching, the words that they're using to search for, to even find your products? And then we talked about customer privacy and also spam protection. So you want to make sure you come in and set up your preferences. And then payments. So payments are a big deal. You need to make sure that you get the integration for your payments done. I would encourage you to do that this week if you haven't already done so. Go and set up your Shopify payments account. Go and set up your integration that you need. If you've got other, like another merchant account that you want to integrate, like what is it, Square, and I'm trying to remember the other one, Stripe, some of the other ones. Make sure you get all of the integrations set up so that you'll be able to collect the payments or receive payment or whatever, Apple Pay, whatever you're using. Okay. So Shopify payments, this is the page. And you're going to integrate your bank account information. Populate your description, put in your mailing address, whatever your business type is. So go ahead and make sure you've got all your setup for your Shopify payments. Then you also have what's going to be available to people when they check out. What are they going to see? What are you going to ask from them? What do you need from them in order for them to have a successful checkout? So go through and make sure that you've already got your checkout settings. Again, practice, like get your store set up, import into your store. You'll be able to discover pretty quick what you're missing when you're trying to actually do like a practice checkout. So when you're doing a practice checkout, you add something to cart, like you're trying to ship it as a test, like what did you forget to configure? You're going to figure that out pretty quick. Along with checkout, what did you forget to configure? So a lot of it is pretty self-explanatory. They also have the help buttons all through here so that it's easy for you to be able to figure out what you want to have happen. And then the other thing is here, I believe in the checkout is where you have the option for abandoned cart, email marketing. And so, make sure that you go in and turn that on and that you integrate it with whatever tool you're going to be using for email marketing. And we're going to cover that in just a second. What are some of the options? But you can set it up to where they get an email after so many minutes or so many hours. If the cart is abandoned, hey, your item is still here. So you can try and get that traffic and get people to come back to you. All right, taxes. We all have to pay taxes. Our customers have to pay taxes. Just go and set up all of your configuration for your taxes. This is what it looks like. Again, all of this is under settings. And then if you're going to offer any discounts or coupons, especially for Black Friday, this is where you want to put it. If you're going to give people 10% off, you're going to give them free shipping. If you're going to give them whatever it happens to be, this is where you're going to do it. You're going to do it all here. Okay, so create your discounts. The discounts and coupons is quite involved because you can do a percentage off, you can do a fixed amount, you can do free shipping, you can do buy one, get one free. So because you have all the options, the more options that you choose over here, the more other fields show up based on what you choose. So this involved with, if you're going to do this, this is the week in which to practice getting all of this set up, what you think you want it to look like for Black Friday. Again, something that you want to offer. And you don't have to do anything complex if you don't want to. If you just want to do something simple like free shipping, that's fine. But if you want to do something more involved, you want to go ahead and set this up. They have all kinds of help tools to help you with this discount setup because it's quite involved. All right, so email marketing. I encourage you, if you've already got a customer list, you can upload your customer list into your Shopify account, and then you can start marketing to them, or you can use whatever email marketing tool that you already have in place and market to your customers about your Shopify store or your products. Maybe you were selling baby blankets and now you're selling baby bibs and you're selling baby hats and socks now. And so you want to let them know you got new products. You want to make sure that you're engaging your customers. You should be sending them an email no less than at least once a month, if nothing else. You can tell them about new products. You can tell them about new stores, new offers, whatever. And so if you already have a list of customers, make sure you market to them and say, hey, come check out our Black Friday deals, because that's going to save you money on your marketing dollars. Once you have them as a customer, it is easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to go ahead and acquire a new customer. So acquiring a new customer sometimes takes anywhere from 5 to 8 touch points. That means following up with them multiple times because, again, they have multiple options in which to buy from. So if you go ahead and take advantage of, setting up your email marketing account, making sure you get the integrations, and then that way you can continue to market to them. Some of the things that you can market to them, we talked about, was a welcome email, announcements about new products, abandoned card, we talked about that, linking it to your store, social media assets. So, if you're offering a deal, make sure you're announcing that on your social media pages as well. And like I said, once a month. So here's some of the email marketing options and apps that you could take advantage of, that you can use. And there's so many of them. Just figure out what you want to integrate with your Shopify store and go from there. Right. Then Facebook ads. So we talked about Facebook ads. We talked about Google ads and Bing ads. Just 1 second. Identify your target audience. I cannot stress that enough. There's nothing like trying to market to a generic audience for a product that's only going to be of interest to a specific group of people. So make sure that you figure out what your target audience is, and that's going to make it easier for you to create Facebook ads. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I got bit, and now I have the itchies, so I'm taking an allergy pill. Okay. So we talked about creating all your social media assets. If you didn't already do it, get your Facebook page set up, get your Instagram page set up. Then you can sell your products directly on your store, on your page. That's a great thing that you can do an integration with your Shopify store and bring your products into your Facebook page, into shops. That is a separate segment altogether. And I think we're going to probably cover that in session 7 or 8, maybe at a high level. We have training for just Facebook Marketplace in general that I think is already in this group, but if it's not, I'll make sure we get it in this group. But to set up your Facebook ads, your Facebook shops and Instagram shops, that's a little more involved. So we're not going to cover that before Black Friday. It's just not going to happen. But you can feature a product as a post on your Facebook page. That you can do. So, create some visual posts, find something that's the most colorful, the most of interest, the thing that you think is going to be the most eye-catching or eye-popping, and do that. And then stick to a posting schedule. Posting during Black Friday, you should actually get some graphics created. I'm just going to be honest. On your social media, if you're trying to drive some traffic, there's nothing like being able to see that on your social media. So, put your Black Friday promos and your pictures of your products. So we have, I company that I've used, Graphic Rhythm Designs, that will actually do product graphics for you. Again, it is a cost, it's not free, but it is an option that you could use. And then you can announce your products on your page, whatever pages that you have set up. You want to make sure that you install the Facebook Pixel um, on your Shopify store, and that way it'll make it easier for you to run ads. And who knows? I don't know how many people are going to be active on Facebook. You know, people have opinions about what's happening with social media. Just know that there's still customers there, so don't overlook that opportunity. There's also customers on Instagram, and there's also customers on TikTok. Like, you can drive them. If you're a person that you're really good at TikTok, you can drive them from TikTok over to your Facebook or to your Shopify store directly. Always an option. Always an option. Then Google Ads and Bing Ads. So Google Ads and Bing Ads, very similar. If you have a Google account or you created your Google account, remember your Google account is your Gmail and also potentially your YouTube. So Google, you have a bunch of options, or your Google Voice account as well. All of that's Google. So whatever it is you created, you literally could attach as much as you want to, because Google gives you a lot of options and a lot of tools to use. Bing is going to be your Microsoft products. So your Bing ads is going to be under that. So go and set up your Google or your Bing ads. Make sure that you build out your keywords. Again, some of the same keywords as you did research in session 2. Those will be some of the same keywords, the search terms that people are looking for. Now, I will tell you, there was a catch-22 with running Google Ads for Shopify. So you really do need to run them from within the Shopify store itself. That's the one thing I will tell you. Instead of just going directly to Google, like, you should do it from the Shopify store itself. I would highly recommend that. Sometimes Google can get crazy and they may try to shut down your account. So just take advantage of that. The option inside of there, I think I showed that on another page, to run the ads or do the integration. I know that, I think it's, I'll find it and I'll show you next week. I know that there is a place. And then when you're running your ads, make sure you have anywhere from 5 to 25 keywords for your ad. So again, doing your campaigns, you're going to build your Google campaign, and then once you do build your Google campaign, then you can clone your Bing campaign. I am tongue-tied at this point. All right, and then other ad strategies. Again, make sure that whatever you do, that it's scalable. So I would start off with something small and then build on that. Maybe you're going to do a different ad for different products. So the more pictures you have of those products, the better it's going to be for you. The more pictures or more videos you have of that product in use, if you can do the one that's going to be the most eye-catching, the most eye-popping, is actually the product in use. Seriously. That one is going to get you the most traffic. Or someone overjoyed and delighted that they received the. So one of the ones that I saw the other day was, oh my God, it was a spin, like a spin disc that you can put into a bucket, a small bin, and it actually washes your dishes for you. It's not a dishwasher like a physical big rectangular dishwasher. It is actually, you just put it in the sink. You run some water in the sink, clog up the water, put some dish soap in there and stick this thing in there, and it spins around. It almost spins around like the inside of a washer, the little, if you have not a top loading, not a front loading washer. But in any case, I was like, oh my God, that is a great product. And of course, it had so many likes. So that's a product I'm going to go after, that I would actually target to be able to sell a singular product. That's a great singular product. You got to know who's looking for it. So it's going to be people like moms. It's going to be specifically moms or parents, people that don't want to wash dishes. They have a busy life, a busy schedule. So working moms, you want to target that audience for that specific product. If you find the product in use and it's something that's going to make people's lives easier, or something's going to make their life better, or people are overexcited when they see it, then definitely those are things that you want to sell. Utilize the Google Shopping Network. Again, that is something we're not covering in this particular training, but if you have already used Google Shopping or integrated your Shopify into Google Shopping, that's always an option. That just means you're going to show up more. It gives more eyeballs on your products. So take advantage of that. Keywords, using your keywords wisely. We talked about that, optimizing, retargeting. So once you've targeted your audience, you can go back and you can retarget your audience. If you got them to your page, your pixels picked them up, now you can retarget them all over the internet because you now have Google ads and Bing ads that you're running as well. So everywhere that they go, they're going to see your product because you can do retargeting ads. And again, you have to have a budget. So make sure that you have an established budget. That's going to help you significantly as long as you have an established budget. All right, so I covered so much. I covered a lot. Yeah, one more thing. Okay, so does it make sense to run ads on Facebook to get subscribers to your newsletter? Yeah, it can make sense. The one thing is that you can set up a pop-up that comes up on your Shopify store that says get 10% off. And so that way, you drive traffic to your Shopify store, or you drive traffic to your Shopify, to your whatever your product, your Facebook page is, Facebook fan page. And then, on that, maybe you have a graphic that says get 10% off, click here. And then that 10% off drives them to your Shopify store where they can get the 10%. They sign up for your newsletter to get the 10% off, 15% off, 20% off. That way you can continue marketing to them if they are your target audience. Okay. Building a list and it's not your target audience is not going to help you. If you are selling, I don't know, baby blankets, and your traffic is going to people who are gun owners and gun lovers, gun case lovers, that's not going to help you unless you're selling gun cases. So make sure that you've done the research on your target audience. Do you recommend Shopify email or go outside of Shopify? You should do both, because within Shopify, you have the configuration to retarget. So you can set up your configuration inside of Shopify for your email for those immediate responses. Make sure you're adding them to your list so you can continue to market to them on your outside. And then that way you can do promotions outside of that. You can do both, or use one. If your life is crazy, just use one. But just make sure that you're marketing to them on a regular basis. Okay, so the other thing that we were going to talk about today was integrations. So when you go to your Shopify store and you go to the App Store, there's a few apps if you're running multiple, if you're selling on multiple platforms. So maybe I'm selling on Etsy and I'm also selling, I want to integrate with Pinterest and I want to integrate with, whatever. Then you want to come to the Shopify App Store so you can take a look at all of these. And you'll see, this is a free product. This is free. This one says it has a free plan available. It says a free plan is available. And this one is a free plan is available. So the ones I'm going to pay attention to are the ones that have, what is happening here? Here we go. The ones that have the higher, we talked about this before, that have the higher rating and the higher experience. So, the more people are using it. This one is 4.6, 403 people have rated it. So that is not bad. This one has 312 that have rated it. This one has 95, 63, 52. So again, going through here, doing your analysis, checking out the product, going to go click on it and seeing, like this one I know will do Etsy, eBay, and Amazon. So this one's a multi-channel importer. It's got 4.9 and it's 348. So maybe I don't want to focus directly on Etsy because these are specific to Etsy. Maybe I want something that does more than just Etsy. So if I go here and I decide I'm going to take advantage of this app, I would click on add app. Before I do that, I want to, go ahead and watch the video, make sure I understand it, kind of review the information at the bottom, make sure that I understand it, make sure I understand the plans that are available, How is this going to impact me for Black Friday? How is it not? Am I prepared financially to make this financial investment of whatever it happens to be? So if I'm not prepared to make the financial investment, I may have to just go look at free apps right now. So make sure that you're going through, when you're looking at the apps for the App Store, that you look at all of the options that are available to you, and it's not isolated to just one product. So someone was asking me the question about, I think it was like, I don't know, it was Walmart or something. And they were saying, okay, I got to go look. Sorry. Let me not show my screen for just a second. I got to go see what the email was. Just a second. Oh, people are setting up your Calendly. Good. Yes. Let's get this done. Let's get this done, people. Let me find. Let me find it. Hold on. Just okay. So the person was asking a question and said, I recently added eCom Dash. I just have a question. Can I just add my inventory to eCom Dash and then upload it to Walmart, or do I need to do Shopify? So you can use eCom Dash to do it. You can have a direct integration with eCom Dash to your Shopify store, to your Walmart store, to your Amazon store, all three. It works that way. And it will put up your listings, or you can take down your listings. So it's a great tool for that. And the other thing about eCom Dash is once you sign up, they'll actually do a one-on-one session with you, a coaching session, so that way you have the opportunity to ask all the questions and do your integration. So if you've got multiple integrations, like you've got an Amazon store, a Walmart store, Etsy store, all of those things, and you can do all that now. And with eCom Dash in that session, because they'll give you a free 1 hour session. So just want you to know that. Okay, so let me go back over here. All right, so let's go up here and we can go and look at, my search was initially on Etsy. So we can change our search, and let's say that you're doing Walmart, Amazon, Etsy, eBay. I don't know what you're doing. Okay. So if you need something that's the one that we looked at before was a great one. So look at eBay's integration tool. It's 3.3, 698. It's free, but it's got a 3.3. That can't be good. Walmart Marketplace 2.3. I don't know why. Why is it so low? I would be concerned about that. And as always, I would go read the reviews because I want to know, what's the problem? Why are people having so many problems? 36 people are having problems. It does not sync your inventory properly. Issues with listing support, non-existent. So yeah. So you want to take a look and review the reviews for sure. Walmart integration. This one has a Walmart integration, free to install. This one has better reviews. If you go and look, if you're running Walmart and you're doing Shopify. So it's got 23 negatives, but they have 226 positives. So hey, I'm rolling with that. That's probably a better choice than the other one. And then, let's see, we already looked at the Etsy. What was the other thing that I put in the search? Walmart, Etsy, eBay. Okay, so the one that we previously looked at, it was like a multi-channel option. That was probably one of the best ones to choose. The rating was good. The reviews were good. But again, go look at the features. Go see what it does. So Sellbrite, similar to eCom Dash, has some options. So I can go down here and I can make sure that I'm paying attention to what's available to me. If I decide to apply this app to my store or add it to my store, you can read the full description by clicking here. They show you some examples down at the bottom, and then they give you some pricing. So again, pay attention to the pricing. We're just trying to get through Black Friday. Could you have 100 sales, 200 sales, 500 sales in one weekend in Black Friday? Yeah, you could. If you did a great job with ads, if it's a popular item people are looking for, you literally could have an insane day. You can also get your merchant account shut down because you have unexpected traffic because it's a new account and or a new store. So don't be surprised by that too. I would encourage you to make sure that you have a plan for that as well, because sometimes when they see a bunch of stuff come in all at once, they will put a freeze on your account until they validate that you're a real person. So having multiple Shopify stores, remember you got a 14-day trial. Once you get the first one up, go set up another one. So you have a 14-day trial, attach that one to a completely different payment method, and set up a third one. You literally could have like 4 or 5 Shopify stores just for Black Friday if you want to. Once you get your first store set up and you know what's involved to set up your first store, it's just the commitment and dedication to set up the other stores. So you could have your store 100% up and running and ready to go and fully populated within 2 hours. You really could. So just telling you, be prepared for something like that. So I hope this information is helpful. What questions do you have for me today? What questions do you have? All right. So whatever questions you have, you can add them and ask them in the Facebook group. My wish, my goal, my dream for you is that you will go through and do the work that you need to make sure that we're ready to go this week. Get as much of your stuff done as possible. You know, even if you have to work on it 15 minutes at a time, just go get it done. And then once you get it done, then the next thing is next week, we're going to be continuing our getting ready for Black Friday. So as far as your Black Friday checklist is concerned, the things that you want to focus on for Black Friday for your checklist is making sure that you have sufficient products. So figuring out what the inventory supply is from the supplier that you're using, that you're integrating with. You may want to reach out to them. They should have a customer service contact just in case, so that, you know, maybe they only got 2 in stock, but you're going, oh my God, this is not going to work. So if you've done your research on the front end, you will have an idea of which suppliers actually have inventory available. The other thing is to make sure that you're preparing to optimize your listings. Extremely important. When you're importing listings, look at the descriptions, look at the images. You know, some of them you may have to edit, you may have to change. What offers are you going to make? Start putting together your list of what types of offers you think you want to offer. Maybe you're just going to offer 1 or 2. Make sure that you've got not just the product inventory, that you have a process in place for the shipping. So if you're ordering from a supplier, find out what their strategy or plan is for Black Friday. How quickly are they planning to get things shipped out? Reach out to them and have that conversation so that you're not caught off guard with transactions and sales where they're not getting fulfilled in a timely manner. Again, knowing the rating of whoever you're deciding to use as your supplier is extremely important before you commit to selling or offering that product. Also knowing the rating of the product. If the product rating is 3.0 or something like that, I'm not interested in selling it. I'm interested in selling things that are 4.5, really, if I'm gonna be honest, but I'll do 4.2 on up. So if the product rating is high, that's a good one for you, and that reduces the chance of a return. And then in addition to that, so we talked about the shipping, we talked about different product sourcing, we talked about making sure that they have adequate inventory, what's the timing in which they're going to ship those items out to you, making sure that you have some type of follow-up or emails. Again, you want to continue to get them back. Give them an option maybe to refer a friend and get an additional 25% off. You know, whatever you can do to try to continue to grow your list and grow your audience. This is an opportunity for you to go from a list of 0 customers to a list of 500 customers in 1 weekend, or 1,000 customers in 1 weekend, or 5,000 customers in 1 weekend. So be thinking about those strategies that you can put in place. But you got to make sure you have products people are looking for. You've done a really good job on identifying the audience. You've done the work for the keyword research. You've got an amazing domain name that's catchy, easy to remember, easy to find. You've already acquired all your social media assets. We're going to do your banner pages if you give me your information. That's a good thing for you. So then I've removed that excuse. So it's all about, let's make sure your store is rocking and rolling, ready to go for Black Friday. That's really what it's all about. All right. Well, I hope this information was helpful. I hope that you find this class to be a blessing to you. If you think this is a good class, please recommend other people. Let them know about this class. Invite them to come and join, the next time that we offer it. And if there's anything that we can change or improve about this class, next week we're getting into it. We're going to go into each one of the things that we've already covered. We're going to go through the store, and then that following Friday or Saturday, I'm going to sit down and go through your store. So we just want to make sure you're ready. But if there's anything we can do to improve it, let us know. If there's anything we can do to make it easier, let us know. And make sure you booked your 1 hour so that we can help you make sure your store is ready to go for Black Friday. All right, well, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Mastery, signing off for now. Bye.